All right, we are back, and we are now almost at countdown for people are flying out, and we are very excited to be here on the Stronger Together podcast, the pre-FETC event, as we are only a few days away from the 14th of January, where this all kicks off. And we have two of our busier presenters here. I can't wait to dive into all of their sessions. I'm always amazed when I go on and see what everybody is presenting, and there's multiple days, and why I think it makes FETC one of the leading events, because we bring in so many different people with so many different experiences. So I am your host, Matthew Joseph, here sharing the voices of FETC, and I am thrilled to have Destiny and Kris with us today for this interview. So Destiny, Kris, thanks for jumping on.
Thanks for having us. Excited to be back with you.
Yes, it is always great. So for those who don't know you and your work, I'd love for you to introduce yourselves and the work that you do.
Okay. So I am Destiny Wagner. I'm half of Edtech Nerds, and I was in the classroom teaching all levels of physics for over 20 years, and also an instructional technology coach for several of those years. I'm the teacher that I'll just say retired early due to burnout. But I really miss being in the classroom and working with teachers. So Kris and I started Edtech Nerds to really see how we could help and support teachers and really find a way so that other teachers didn't have to go through what I did, and find them the resources and the support they need to stay in the classroom.
Amazing.
And I'm Kris Thurston. I am the other half of Edtech Nerds, and I'm also currently the technology director at John Paul II High School in Plano, Texas, which is a pretty decent sized Catholic 9 through 12 institution. And and my part in this is I've gotten really tired of losing the amazing teachers that we put so much effort and time into to burn out, and not just leaving the school but leaving the profession. And so that's what led to us making a more mindful approach to using technology in classrooms. So.
Yeah, and I think it's such an emotional piece of the work, is like, how mindful are you in that work? And then, as you said, layering in the resources. And for me, when I start to look through your sessions, you have such a variety. I want to dive in, because when you put in that search field and, looking for Kris or Destiny, you're going to see so many options. So I'd love for you to kind of talk us through. And you start right from day one, right from the pre-conference. You have a 2-hour workshop in finding calm in the classroom chaos and tools for educators and students. So as individuals are looking through the agenda and they see that come up, what are they going to expect in that 2-hour session?
Yeah, so that area is more my specialty, even though we co-present. I'm a 500-hour certified yoga teacher and done tons of training on mindfulness and how to bring calm into the classroom. So if you come to that session, you'll get breathing techniques, learn all about your nervous system, how to help regulate that, and find some breathing and movement ideas to calm your own body. And it's also things that are easy enough for the students as well. And then we dive into some lesson plans. Because it is a workshop, you'll actually be building a lesson that you can take back to the classroom.
Oh, that's great.
For your students to use for them as well. And then also giving you the tools, what happens when you leave the room, right? So the teachers only see students for so many hours out of the week, and you might be able to sneak in a few of these tools. So it's really meant for how can you kind of work calm and mindfulness into your lessons, and not stray too far away from your actual subject matter, but giving them those life skills that they need to carry on with them outside of the classroom as well.
Yeah, and finding that actually really has them more focused and really attentive to what they're doing. So I think sometimes when sessions like this at a technology conference, you're like, wow, it doesn't seem to match, but it really does match because it
Mhm.
opens up creativity. It opens up enjoyment for being in school. But mostly for me as a former principal and now district leader, it increases attendance because kids are healthy and
Yeah,
they're in school.
sure.
So you have 2 hours on day one, and then day two on January 15th, you had another couple sessions. So amped up assessment, the power of digital portfolios. This is one that I've been really talking a lot about, portfolios. So I'd love for you to share what that session involves and how do you see that work, the portfolio work in K-12 education?
So for this one, this is a poster session. So come by and see us. And it looks like at that poster session, there's actually a bunch of different stations that are focused on digital portfolios.
Mm-hmm.
So if that is something that you're interested in, that poster session is going to be really good. And so for us, it's about, the fact that I think multiple choice questions are an absolute terrible form of assessment.
Fair
and I don't think I'm alone in that. And so the digital portfolio is a way for a student to really express the things that they've learned and communicate their learning back to the teacher in a way that makes sense to them as an individual and as a learner. And so being able to take those digital portfolios and build them out, and then as a teacher building a rubric behind it that lets you give those periodic less important assessment grades and things as they go through and build out the portfolio, and then be able to turn it around at the end as like a final project, so that you get the minor grades, you get the major grades, and then you also get you get a picture of the student's growth and learning throughout an extended period of time. And at the same time, then it gives you as a student something that you can then take and turn around and use to study for an exam, or be able to take something and show to someone else outside of the classroom, like something, you can build something that you can then add into, your actual portfolio for college and add it to an application or a job application or something like that. So being able to have those skills to build the portfolio itself, plus the learning that goes into building it, is all as those are the things that we talk about. So
Yeah, and I think having that opportunity for students to showcase their learning, it shows a wider scope. Like as you said, the multiple choice questions it's either right or wrong, and there's no show of process. There's no show of growth over time, and I think having that is great. So make sure to check that out. That is on the Wednesday, the 15th at 3:30. That's in the poster session area 2395. And then after that, you have the Meet the Author experience, which is pretty serious with yourself and Jed and some great stuff. So share a little bit about the book. I know at 2:45 we're going to be giving some away, so make sure you be there for that. And then you have some later that evening. Talk about your product. It's an exciting book.
So for me, I took a deep dive into personal development and how could I be more mindful and really balance school and work life with home life. And so we wanted to be able, I thought you were looking for that. He did show it on the screen.
That's all right. He was
You hold it up.
I'm going for it. He's going for it.
But even just as assessments and reflections are important in the classroom, it's important for your own life as well. So the planner is really built to have a morning mindset for your daily, what's important to me today before the fires come and I get all of the attention and all the ask and all the ands. What do I need to get my mindset right so I know that I can get through my day? And then there's an evening reflection piece on what went well, what didn't, is there anything that needs to carry over to the next day? And then we have a weekly section in there. So it's meant to, let's shift the focus away from your time at school and focus on your friends and family and things that are important to you. What are your long-term goals? What do you need to do to kind of reset and recharge on those weekends? And then the monthly piece takes you through your bigger aspirations. So for us, when I was going through this, like writing this book and writing this planner, that was a big giant goal for us. How do you break that down? How do you keep those things at the forefront? So you might tell somebody, hey, I want to write a book. And then months later, they ask how it's going. You're like, oh yeah, I kind of did say I wanted to write a book, but I didn't really take action on it. So this helps you to break that down and really turn it into a manageable thing. And we talk about the reticular activator. And so that's that little piece of your brain that constantly reminds you, hey, remember you said you're going to do that thing. And it opens your eyes to these opportunities to remind you to go back to the things that are actually really important to you so that you don't lose sight of the things that light your own soul on fire. So we wanted to be able to bring that to teachers, and you worked with us on that. And actually it kind of came to fruition when we attended our first FETC. Kris got to meet Carl Hooker at one of the Meet the Author sessions, and he was so sweet and supportive. And it kind of got us on that track to thinking, what could we do and what fit into our area so that we could have that opportunity with you too.
Awesome. And I think it's just such a great blend of both of the first 2-day sessions. You talk about the yoga and the mindfulness and being in tune with the learning. And then Kris was talking about then putting that into a creative project. And I think all of that comes into play. And I think for me, what I like about the book and have used is the long-term planning piece, like setting that goal and backwards mapping. And I think it gives that opportunity to see it out. And, I'm still a person, I have it here, that writes things out, checklists and things that I as much technology I use, as much as I have the phone everywhere with me, having that, writing it down for me is a process. And I think part of that for the book is critical. So that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're back at it with 2 more sessions, another 2-hour workshop, and then a 45-minute session. So talk about this, because again, on these 2 sessions, again, are talking about the emotional side of it, the building empathy, trying to minimize the burnout. And again, as a former principal, keeping teachers in district and in our building is such a critical part of our role. So when individuals look at those two, the 2-hour workshop and the session, what are they to expect when they come to you?
So on that workshop for compassionate coaching, we really look at your habits and efficiency and effectiveness in supporting your staff. It's meant for instructional coaches or any kind of, academic coaching leaders to attend that session, and, building your own habits and routines to set things in place so that there's some sort of structure and you're not running around like a chicken with your head cut off. But also, we talk about that empathy and support. What are ways that you can support your teachers? I know when I was a coach, I ran into teachers being scared that I was the one evaluating them. And that really wasn't the case. So, how do you get over those humps and really provide that support without making them have that fear of failure? Like, how do you reduce that fear in them?
Right.
And, just really make those connections and build those relationships in a meaningful way. So, and then we do have some workshop time. So we'll introduce a lot of tech tools with that one, so you can get some ideas and not be stuck with one major project or one major tool. We show you a variety in that section. So hopefully there's something for everybody that they'll be able to find something useful and take back to their school.
Awesome. And I made sure to put Kris and Destiny's handle down below. Make sure to check out, follow them, see all the resources, because those were just 3 impactful days at FETC, but they are continuing to post and share throughout. So make sure to follow them. And just when you thought that was it, there is a 4th day on Friday. You are back for more. And now we dive into some of the Google Workspace and some really be excellent, but not a perfectionist. So these are 2, I would think, a little bit different workshop, another 2-hour workshop, and then a full 60-minute roundtable. Talk about this day and what you have planned for the participants.
So this one's Kris, and then also your Agile lesson design too.
Yeah, the Agile. So from on the day before, the second one, the Agile lesson design, that one's near and dear to my heart because it comes straight out of the classroom. I had a teacher literally come into my office about to cry because she had built a huge lesson plan and set up for the week with labs and all of that stuff, and the schedule got changed at the last minute, and she didn't know she'd put hours of work into this lesson plan and didn't know how to turn it around to make it fit in a different time period. And so we went through it step by step and built it out. And we turned a lot of stuff digital, and we're able to turn things into online resources so that the kids could do it at their own pace. So that's the heart of Agile, is to be able to, your lesson plan may not survive first contact with your administration or the day. And so, you might get pulled out for an IEP meeting or whatever. Something may happen in your day and your lesson plan gets wrecked. So how do you build your lessons in the first place so that you can pivot on very short notice without having to spend hours and hours rebuilding your lesson plan? That's where that came from. And then the Google Workspace admin roundtable is just a place for Google Workspace admins to get together and talk about stuff and build community. We can't do it alone. And so being able to have that social networking time and see what other problems people are facing and being able to talk to each other is what that one's all about. So. And then awesome. The last one is mindfulness, which is destiny.
Yes. So be excellent, not perfection. Talk to me about this.
Yeah, so it really makes a great bookend to that first session on Calm, which focuses on the students and lesson plans and things you can do for them in the classroom. And it circles back and we wind up with mindfulness for educators on how to find those resources when you yourself just need a minute to breathe. Finding that balance. We call them mental bicep curls. So just finding those pauses and those moments to bring you back, because a lot of times as educators, we're pulled in so many different directions. How can you pause, shut that out for a hot minute, and really focus on you and be present in the moment? And then because that is a workshop, you'll be building resources either in Book Creator or Wakelet or both, if those are your jam, to build out your own resources. So having that physical item to turn back to when you find yourself stressed, what are some tools and tips and tricks that worked for you that you learned about in the workshop, and then you're able to carry that with you forward by the time you leave.
I like it. So this is your second FETC, and it's your first one in Orlando. What are you looking forward to about heading down?
Well, I am a huge Harry Potter fan. So the Proximity Universal was a big draw for us. But we had such an amazing experience at FETC last time. We really wanted to go back and meet the other presenters. I saw the webinar that you did with getting ready to go to FETC, and then I watched another one, and Adam File talked about the networking opportunities and challenged everyone to meet 10 people at the conference. So being able to do that and just find those resources and really connect with other educators is important to me. Kris, do you have anything that stood out in your mind?
It's for me, I found the last time I was at FETC, I found different things that I haven't found at other conferences. And so being able to find something else that's new that I haven't seen before, that's always what I'm looking for. So.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate you jumping on. Again, you have 4 full days of sessions. If you haven't followed their work, make sure to check them out. If you go to the search tab, you'll see all of their work. You go to the tabs up top, you'll see the work starting right from Tuesday. You have the 2-hour workshop rolling into Wednesday, where you go see them to have your book signed, or come by also at 2:45. They'll be part of the book giveaway. And then each and every day they have something that blends both the Edtech style and the mindfulness piece of it. So Kris and Destiny, and I think you're flying out on Saturday. Is that correct?
We leave tomorrow. Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope you have a safe flight, and Destiny, enjoy the proximity, and I hope you get a chance to enjoy yourself at Harry Potter World.
All right. Thank you for having us and giving us a chance to talk about all the things near and dear to our heart, blending Edtech and mindfulness.
Wonderful. We look forward to seeing you both in Orlando. And for those of you continuing to tune in, we'll be wrapping up with an interview each and every day. Tune in to see all of the voices of FETC. Then on Tuesday the 14th, we will be live from Orlando on the show floor, podcasting throughout the morning with our great sponsors, Identity Automation. So Destiny, Kris, have safe travel, and look forward to seeing you in Orlando.
Thank you.
Soon.